Hello, my dear listeners. This is your bar exam coach. I am attorney Jen Estabilio. So for today's discussion, I will be discussing chapter 2 of the obligations and contracts pertaining to the nature and effect of obligations. As an overview, the articles under chapter 2 of the obligations and contracts are as follows. 1163, obligation to give and diligence required. 1164, right of the creditor to fruits and distinction between personal and real rights. 1165, obligations to deliver a thing. 1166, obligation to deliver accessions and accessories. 1167, breach of obligation. 1168, obligations not to do. 1169, delay or default in obligations. 1170, liability for damages in obligations. 1171, responsibility arising from fraud. 1172, responsibility arising from negligence. 1173, fault or negligence of the obligor. 1174, fortuitous events. 1175, usurious transactions. 1176, presumptions in the payment of obligations. 1177, remedies of creditors. And 1178, transmissibility of rights. So there are a lot of articles under chapter 2. So for the purposes of this video, I will be discussing for the first part of the lecture, articles 1163 to 1165. And then for the rest of the chapter, I will be uploading succeeding lectures regarding these articles in my next video upload. Okay? So let's start. First, Article 1163. This article is about the obligation to give and diligence required. Okay, let's read the article. Every person obliged to give something is also obliged to take care of it with the proper diligence of a good father of a family, unless the law or the stipulation of the parties requires another standard of care. Okay, so reading this article or provision, you will see that there is a general rule and there is an exception. Okay, from the word unless, right? So exception na yan from the general rule. So we will be discussing this in detail. So let us first define what a specific or determinate thing and what is a generic or indeterminate thing. When a person is obliged to give something, it is either specific or generic. So what's the difference between the two? In the specific or determinate, when the object is particularly designated or physically segregated from all others of the same class. So the keyword there is the physical segregation from all other of the same class. Okay, so it is particularly designated. So it is identified by its individuality. Okay? So alam mo na yan, naihiwalay mo na siya from the rest of the class. So debtor cannot substitute it with another thing of the same kind or quality without creditor's consent. Why? Because the debtor already segregated that object to give that particular, that specific object. Examples. Number 1, the Mitsubishi Expander car with plate number JJJ222. The plate number there identifies that Mitsubishi Expander car. So it is now segregated from the rest of the Mitsubishi Expander cars because of identifying it with its plate number. So that is an example of a specific thing. Another example, my dog named Shadow. Okay, so particularly, you have a dog named Shadow, right? Number 3, the Apple Watch that I am wearing. So you are also pertaining to the specific watch that you are wearing right now. Okay, so that makes it distinct from the generic thing. So what is this generic thing or indeterminate? Okay, meaning hindi mo ma-determine, no? Indeterminate from the word itself. Indeterminate or generic thing means that when the object is designated merely by its class or genus without any particular designation or physical segregation from all others of the same class. So this refers only to a class or genus to which it belongs. Okay? So you cannot point out with particularity. So for example, okay, the Black Series 2022 Mitsubishi Expander car. So there are a lot of cars under that Black Series, okay, because we now remove the plate number, it now becomes part of a generic object. Okay. What else? My dog. If you have many dogs, okay, one of your dogs, so you can, as a debtor, no, you can give any of your dogs because you did not yet particularly segregated which dog are you willing to give. Okay. What else? An Apple Watch. Okay, so let's say you have several Apple Watches. Now you can pick, as a debtor, you can pick which Apple Watch you want to give to the creditor. So here, in the generic or indeterminate, debtor can deliver any item of the same class as long as it is of the same kind and quality. Again, remember, the debtor can deliver any item of the same class as long as it is of the same kind and quality. We will discuss more in detail the meaning of that same kind and quality, meaning you cannot give an inferior object to the creditor. Okay. So the key distinction between a determinate and generic thing. First, for the determinate, it is identified by its individuality, no substitution unless agreed. Okay. Example, deliver my Toyota Corolla with plate number ABC123. While for generic, identified by its species or class, so here substitution is possible. Example, deliver one Japanese car. So it may be what? Nissan, okay, or any other Japanese car under that class or species. Okay. So the Civil Code reference for these are as follows. Article 1244, debtor of a determinate thing cannot compel creditor to accept another even if equal or superior. Ibig sabihin, kung determinate thing na ang iyong obligation as a debtor, okay, so your point of view here is you are the debtor. So as a debtor, if you've already segregated or determine what you want to give to the creditor, you cannot compel the creditor to accept another kahit na mas maganda yan. No, kahit na let's say from Apple Watch, gusto mo siyang bigyan ng Rolex, hindi. Why? Because specifically, you've identified the Apple Watch and not the Rolex. So you cannot compel the creditor to receive the Rolex instead of the Apple Watch. Okay, yun yung sinasabi nating specific or determinate. Article 1246, on the other hand, if obligation is generic, debtor must deliver a thing of neither superior nor inferior quality. Okay, so when you as a debtor, your obligation is to give, okay, an Apple Watch. Sinabi mo lang Apple Watch, but you did not identify it as the one that you are wearing. Right? So, marami kang Apple Watch. Now, sa marami mong Apple Watch, you have the responsibility or you have the obligation to give the Apple Watch that is in good condition. Hindi pwedeng inferior quality. Okay? Hindi ibig sabihin generic siya kahit ano na lang ibibigay mo. Of course, it should be of the same kind and quality. Okay? Next, we have here the duties of the debtor. If obligation to give is determinate, we have here 5, no? duties of the debtor. First is to preserve or take care of the thing due. So how to preserve as a debtor, how to preserve or take care of the thing due? Ibig sabihin yung due yung ibibigay mo, no? Paano mo aalagaan yung object na yon? Okay? You must take care of that thing with the diligence of a good father of a family. So that is the ordinary care required, no, for the debtor, to take care of the thing with the diligence of a good father of a family. Here, the obligor has the incidental duty to take care of the thing due with the diligence of a good father of a family pending delivery. The phrase has been equated with ordinary care or that diligence which an average or is reasonably prudent person exercises over his own property. The meaning of the diligence of a good father of a family is what a prudent person would use for his own property. Kung paano mo aalagaan ang mga gamit mo, ang mga bagay mo, ganun din ang pag-aalaga mo doon sa object that you are going to give. So that is your ordinary care. That is the diligence of a good father of a family. We have also another standard of care. As an exception, if the law or stipulation requires another standard of care. So we have examples, extraordinary diligence for the common carriers under Article 1755. We also have highest diligence required for the banks, no, in handling deposits. So mas mataas, no, yung isa extraordinary diligence for common carriers, and then for the bank, highest diligence. So these are more, no, diligence required for them. Okay. So the parties, no, may agree to increase or lessen diligence. However, they cannot exempt, no, from gross negligence kasi that would be contrary to public policy. Okay? So that is the first one. First duty of the debtor to preserve or take care of the thing due. Second is to deliver the fruits of the thing. So we will discuss that more in detail when we go on Article 1164. But to give you an overview, no? So for the delivery of the fruits, the creditor is entitled to the fruits from the time the obligation to deliver arises. So for instance, you are a buyer of mango farm. Okay, so the buyer of a mango farm is entitled to fruits, no, from contract perfection. So yung fruits doon, yung mismong mangoes, okay, entitled na doon yung buyer from the contract perfection. Although, ownership passes only upon delivery. Kasi perfected na yung contract kahit na hindi pa na-deliver, okay, entitled na yung creditor doon sa fruits of that thing. Okay, so we will discuss that more in detail. Number 3, to deliver its accessions and accessories. So this is also one of the duties of the debtor. So that is under Article 1166. We will also discuss that more in detail when we go in that chapter. But for purposes of an overview for this discussion, accessions means everything produced by or attached to the thing. Example, houses, no? Pagsalan, okay, accessions niya kung may bahay na doon, okay? Improvements, okay, and improvements, for instance, bumili ka ng house and lot, so meron doon mga fence, okay, improvements na yung nakasama. So that is also accession. Okay. For the accessories, these things for use or preservation of another. So example, if you are going to buy a house, okay, the accessory there is the house key, okay, because you need that, okay, to enter the house. So that is accessory. So again, we will discuss that more in detail later. Okay. Number 4, to deliver the thing itself. So you must deliver exactly what was agreed upon. Okay? No substitution without creditor's consent. Okay, so paano yung napag-agreehan nyo? That is the thing that you will deliver. And then number 5, to answer for damages in case of non-fulfillment or breach. So that's under Article 1170. So if there is a delay, fraud, negligence, or contravention of the tenor of the obligation, the debtor is answerable, no, for any damages. Okay, because of that non-fulfillment of the condition or because of the breach. Okay, so as a general rule, the debtor is not liable for fortuitous events, okay, under Articles 1174. However, we have exceptions, no? When the debtor is in delay and when the debtor promised to deliver the same thing to two or more persons with different interests. Okay, so liable ang debtor doon, no? Delay na nga siya, no? Delay siya sa pag-deliver or nag-promise siya sa dalawang creditor, two persons who have different interests, nag-promise siya to give, okay, to give the same thing. Okay, so dalawang pinangakuan niya. Answerable din siya, no? For the damages in case that he was not or the debtor was not able to give the thing due. Okay, so these are the obligation of the debtor if the object is determinate. Okay, take note of these 5. All right? When the obligation to give is generic, okay, so the obligation now or the duties of the debtor are as follows. First, to deliver a thing of the quality intended by the parties. So, ano ba yung quality, no? So, it should be neither superior nor inferior. Okay? Kung ano yung talagang gusto, no? Yung pinag-usapan nilang quality, yun ang kailangan ibigay. So, take into account here the purpose of the obligation and other circumstances, and then the debtor cannot deliver substandard, no, or superior quality unless agreed. No, kahit superior quality yan, kung ayaw naman ng creditor hindi naman yun napag-usapan nyo. So do not give a superior quality. So the keyword here is that give only the quality intended or agreed by the parties. Okay, if the object or the thing to give is generic. Okay. And then second, duty of the debtor is that the debtor is liable for damages, no, in case of, again, fraud, negligence, delay, or breach of obligation. That is under Article 1170. Okay, so take note of these duties of the debtor. Next, rights of the creditor. For determinate obligations, now when you are studying the duties and the rights of the creditor, you have to compartmentalize your mind. Okay, you have to identify first whether the object, okay, or the thing is determinate or indeterminate. So you have to classify it first, no? Kasi magkaiba ang duties and rights, no? Kung ito ay determinate or ito ay indeterminate. So you need to have that category or classification first, okay, when you are reading or studying, to be able to understand the difference, no? The difference of these two. Okay, so indeterminate obligations, the rights of the creditor are as follows. So first, to compel specific performance, and then second, to recover damages. Okay, so for the first one, to compel specific performance, okay, Article 1165, the creditor, no, can force the debtor to deliver that exact thing. Meaning, you need to compel, no? No, you need to compel the debtor to give that exact thing because that is determinate. That is what you promised to give. That is what is written in your contract. No, that is what you have agreed upon. Okay, so you need to, the creditor can mandate or force a debtor to deliver that exact thing. Now, mere financial inability of debtor is not a valid defense. So, hindi siya, no? Hindi siya valid defense kasi pinag-usapan yun na eh. Nag-agree ka doon, nag-enter ka into a contract. So, the creditor can compel you. Okay. Now, the creditor also can recover damages. So, under Article 1170, the creditor may be claimed, no, may be claimed in addition, no, the damages may be claimed in addition to specific performance. Okay, so kumbaga twinning yan, no? Kasama na yan lagi yung damages. Okay, so first, the creditor can force the debtor to deliver the exact thing plus claim for damages. And then, If the debtor, can no longer give that exact thing, still the creditor can claim for damages. Okay. What else? In generic obligations, the rights of the creditors are as follows. First, to ask for performance. Second, to ask performance at debtor's expense. And then third, again, to recover damages. Okay, hindi nawawala yung damages lagi ha. Kasi syempre may fault na dyan yung debtor eh. So, the debtor needs to pay damages. Okay. So for the first one, to ask for performance, creditor cannot demand a specific thing but can demand an object of the agreed class. Since this is a generic thing or indeterminate, so hindi the creditor cannot ask for a specific object. No? However, as stated, the creditor can demand an object of the agreed class. So kung ano yung genus nun, okay, of the same class and quality. Okay? So for example, yung example natin kanina, so the debtor, has a duty to give a Mitsubishi Expander, Black Series. Okay. So hindi pwedeng mag-demand si creditor na dapat ito yung plate number, dapat ito yung pinaka-specific na gusto ko. Okay, hindi ganon. Basta as long as andun siya sa under that same class, the debtor can choose which car that the debtor would want to give to the creditor. Okay, because this is only a generic obligation, no? Second, to ask performance at debtor's expense. So, for example, if debtor fails to deliver 10 horses, creditor may procure them from another and charge the cost to debtor. Oh, kasi yung debtor, hindi niya na naibigay eh. Mayroon siyang failure to deliver what was agreed upon. Now, the creditor, hahanap siya kasi kailangan niya yun eh. Kailangan niya yung object na yun. Okay? So, the creditor may procure, bibili siya sa iba, and then charge that expense, against the debtor. Papabayarin niya yung debtor. And then, for fraud, negligence, delay, or breach, kapag meron tong grounds na ito, the creditor can also recover damages from the debtor. Okay? We have here examples. So for the determinate thing, D, the debtor, obligates himself to deliver to the creditor, or C, the Mitsubishi car with plate number JJJ222. Okay, D cannot give another Toyota, even a newer one, or another Mitsubishi car, even a newer one, without C's consent. Why? Because the determinate thing is the Mitsubishi car with plate number JJJ222. So, hindi pwedeng ibang brand. Or mas lalong, rather, hindi pwedeng any other Mitsubishi car. Mas lalong hindi rin pwede another brand, like Toyota. So, magkaiba yun eh. Alright? Okay, so, again, ang focus nyo dito, specific, determined, and its individuality. Now, generic thing, D obligates himself to deliver to C a 1997 Japanese car. So D may give a Honda, Toyota, or Mitsubishi. Okay, so if that's under the Japanese car, provided it is not substandard or luxury grade beyond agreement. Okay, so kung identify niya ano ba yung mga Japanese car, so kahit ano doon pwede niyo ibigay. Okay? As long as it is not substandard or luxury grade, kung ano yung pinag-agrihan lang nila. Alright? So, I hope by this time, you already know how to classify whether it is a determinate thing or whether it is a generic thing. Okay? So, I hope we are clear at this point. Another example, for the fruits, A sells his mango orchard to B. From perfection of contract, fruits belong to B pag perfected na, though ownership passes only upon delivery. Okay, so yung mga mangoes doon, sa'yo na, pag perfected na yung contract, pag ikaw yung buyer. Okay, accessory, if D sells his house to C, okay, delivery includes the house key as an accessory. Kasi kailangan yun eh, accessory, kailangan siya para you can open that house. Okay, so automatic, pagka may binili kang bahay, automatic pati yung susi, So that is what we call as accessory. Accession. If D sells his land with a standing mango tree, okay, the fruits are included even if not mentioned. Kasi tanim na yun eh, doon sa land. Okay? Distinguish that ha from what I've stated earlier. Iba rin yun kapag ka may bahay doon sa land, no? So, separate agreement naman yun kasi you're going to buy a land and a house. So, separate agreement yan. However, kung land lang siya, no, walang bahay, pero may mga puno, okay, considered na yun as accession. Kasama na siya doon sa land. Pati yung mga fruits ng puno no, doon. Okay? So that is part of the accession. Okay? So if D sells his land with a standing mango tree, the fruits are included even if not mentioned. Okay. So we will discuss more that in detail when we go in that specific article. Okay? Para mas clear ang ating discussion. Next is if the debtor no incurs in delay. Okay? Plus may fortuitous event. Okay, so let's see. D promised to deliver a specific car by September 22. However, no, na-delay siya to deliver that car. On September 24, the car is destroyed by flood. Okay, now the debtor is still liable. Bakit? Kahit fortuitous event yan, kahit force majeure yung destruction of the car or the wreckage of the car because of flood, di ba ang flood is a fortuitous event, no? It is not man-made. Okay, so it is an act of God. Okay, because of the delay of the debtor to deliver that specific car, again, specific ha, emphasis on that, to deliver that specific car by September 22, na-delay na siya eh, so liable siya. So hindi niya na pwedeng excuse or palusot na dahil bumagyo eh, grabe yung baha. Okay, so hindi niya na pwedeng excuse yun because he already, or the debtor already was in delay. All right? Next, right of the creditor to fruits and distinction between personal and real rights. So that is under Article 1164. Okay, let's read. The creditor has a right to the fruits of the thing from the time the obligation to deliver it arises. However, he shall acquire no real rights over it until the same has been delivered to him. Now, reading this provision, no, there is a distinction between personal right. Personal right din yung first sentence. Okay, i-ano nyo ha, compartmentalize your mind para hindi kayo ma-overwhelm kahit mahaba yung provision. For the first sentence, that pertains to personal right. For the second sentence, that pertains to real rights. Okay, so let's discuss this further. As a general rule, the creditor has a right to the fruits of the thing from the moment of the obligation to deliver arises. So meron siyang personal right na doon sa fruits na yun, no, from the perfection of the contract. Okay. However, as an exception, the creditor does not acquire real right, no, or ownership over the thing or its fruits until actual delivery. No, kailangan ng may actual delivery is made. Okay. So this highlights the distinction between personal rights and real rights. Ang personal rights kasi, that is enforceable against a debtor. Okay? So, right yan ng creditor. Alright? Personal rights and real rights of the creditor. Now, the creditor has a personal rights, no, that he or she can enforce against a debtor. So, kung mayroon ng fruits doon sa object, no, under their contract, kung mayroon ng fruits, the creditor can demand, no, meron siyang personal right, sa akin yan eh, no, sa akin na yung bunga ng puno na yan, no, against that debtor. Hindi kasi perfected na yung contract nila. However, yung real rights naman ng creditor, this is, real rights is in, our rights, you know, enforceable against the whole world. Ibig sabihin sa third party, no, not only between the creditor and debtor, may ibang tao. Yung kaya niyang i-enforce, no, yung kanyang right, yung creditor. Okay, so andun yung distinction. Now, sa ibang tao, sa third party, as long as, no, if the object of the contract was not yet delivered to the creditor cannot enforce his or her right over that object against third persons or against the whole world, sabi nga. So wala pa siyang real right eh, kasi wala pa sa kanya. No? Ang may right lang siya, ay personal right lang. as against the debtor. Okay, so you need to know the distinction, ha? All right, yung personal right and then the real right of the creditor. Okay, we have here different kinds of fruits. Ano ba yung mga fruits na yan? Baka we are pertaining only to the prutas? No, hindi lang yon. Okay, we have three kinds of fruits. First, we have natural fruits. So what are these? From the word itself, no? Natural, no? Without human intervention. So these are spontaneous products of the soil. It also includes products of animals, no? Like yung offspring, no? Yung baby ng mga animals. Like yung milk or wool, no? And others. Examples, wild grass. Hindi mo naman tinatanim ang damo. Di ba? Nagtatanim ka ba ng grass? Okay, pag hindi mo siya tinanim, so that is what? Spontaneous products of the soil. Okay, so that is considered as a natural fruit. What else? Naturally growing trees. Hindi mo rin naman tinanim. No, may tumubo na lang dyan. Okay, what else? So, cows and colts, ito yung mga offspring of the animals. So, these are natural fruits. So, from the moment of perfection of the contract, the creditor has a personal right over these fruits, okay, as against the debtor. Okay. What else? Industrial fruits. Okay. So these fruits or these products are obtained through cultivation, labor, or human industry. So meron ng human intervention. There's already a participation of men. Okay. Examples. Sugarcane. Nagtanim ka ng sugarcane. Rice. Di ba? Nagsaka ka. Vegetables, okay, coconuts harvested through cultivation. Okay, so there's already a human intervention. Yun yung industrial fruits. Okay, what else? Civil fruits. Ano yung civil? No? This income, no, derive from juridical relations. Okay, so examples, rent from a building, okay, lease payments for land, annuities, interest, income. So these are civil fruits, okay? Yung mga binabayad ng mga persons, ng mga tao. So mga civil, no, persons. So arising from juridical relations. Kung mayroong contract, no, dun sa contract naka-stipulate that you have to pay rent. So these are civil fruits, okay? So we have again three kinds of fruits: natural, industrial, and then civil fruits. So that is under Article 442. Okay, take note, fruits are distinct, no, from accessions. Accessions, these are permanent improvements or attachments, like a building, no, constructed on land. Okay. So, again, yung fruits kasi, yan yung pwedeng, ano lang, temporary, bumunga na lang eh, no? Or pwedeng alisin. Okay, these are only mere temporary, or pwedeng alisin sa kontrata if these are civil fruits, no? So, may distinction siya from accessions. So, accessions, these are permanent improvements or attachments like a building, no, or a house, no, constructed on land. Okay. So, rights of the creditor to fruits. Ano nga ba, no? Ano nga ba ang karapatan ng creditor dito sa mga fruits na ito? Dito sa tatlong fruits, no? The natural, industrial, and then civil fruits, or NIC, no? Nick. The creditor is entitled to the fruits as soon as the obligation to deliver arises, even if there has been no actual delivery yet. Okay, na perfect pa lang yung contract, ibig sabihin. The purpose of this is to safeguard the creditor in case of debtor's delay kasi hindi niya na-deliver agad eh. Okay, so nag-run na. Lahat ng fruits na naka-include doon sa object na yon, may right na tong creditor, may personal right na siya. Okay, kasi baka hindi ma-deliver eh, no? Dahil may fault yung debtor, may negligence siya. Okay, so this is a protection, no, for the creditor. If debtor deliberately delays delivery, okay, creditor's right to fruits is already recognized. Automatic na yan, no? Protected by law na yung creditor. Okay. So when does the obligation to deliver arise? Okay, kailan ba? First, as a general rule, from the perfection of the contract. So, ano yung kailan ba nagpo-perfect ang contract? Meeting of the minds. Okay. Nagkasundo na kayo, no? Ng creditor tsaka ng debtor. So, for example, is in a sale, no? Obligation to deliver exists once both parties agree on the object and the price. No? Napag-usapan nyo na ano ibibigay at magkano. Okay. Number two, if subject, no? If the object, no, is subject to a suspensive condition or period, obligation arises only upon fulfillment of the condition or arrival of the period. Kasi suspensive condition siya, no? The obligation arises only upon the happening. No, kasi suspensive, sinuspend muna. Wala ka munang obligasyon. Now, upon happening of that event or upon fulfillment of the obligation of the condition, your obligation now arises. Okay, yun yung suspensive condition. Example, delivery upon harvest season. So, obligation to deliver arises only at harvest time. Okay, so yan yung condition. Siyempre, kailan lang mag-harvest, no? So, may month yan eh, kailan lang harvest season. So, kung wala pang harvest season, okay, wala ka pang obligation to deliver. Okay? So, that is what we call, no? Suspensive condition. No? Suspended lang yung iyong obligasyon, no? To deliver. Okay. Number three, special rule in contracts of sale. Obligation arises upon perfection of the sale if the price has been paid, okay, even if subject to a suspensive condition or period. So that is under Article 1537. Okay, so ito yung mga special rules na in the contract of sale, no? So kung kailan nabayaran, then the obligation arises upon what? Payment, no? Payment of the purchase price. Okay, so may mga ganun na usapan. Okay. Number four, in obligations arising from law, quasi-contracts, delicts, and quasi-delicts, so the obligation to deliver is determined by the specific provisions of law applicable. So we've already discussed these different sources of obligations, no? The law, quasi-contracts, delicts, and quasi-delicts in our first lecture regarding the obligations and contracts. So dun i-determine. So kung by law yan, so kailan ba dapat, ano ba yung sinasabi ng law na dapat mo kailan i-deliver? Okay, so you need to determine or distinguish. Okay. For instance, no, case 1, S or the seller sells his Pomeranian dog to buyer or B for 15,000. No delivery date agreed. No, hindi sila nag-usap. After sale, the Pomeranian dog gives birth to a puppy. Okay. So rule, no, general rule from perfection, no, yung fruits belong to buyer B, no, or to B. Thus, puppy belongs to B. Okay, wala silang delivery na date na in-agree. Pero nag-perfect na yung contract nila. Kailan naging perfected yung contract nila? Meeting of the minds, no? They've already agreed upon the subject matter of the contract, which is the Pomeranian dog, and they've already agreed upon the purchase price, which is 15,000. So object and the price. So there was already a perfected contract, no? Meeting of the minds. Okay, so obligation arises from that perfection of the contract. That's why B is now entitled, no, to the fruits or to the puppy, no? So it now belongs to B. Case 2. Sale subject to a suspensive condition. So again, suspensive, wala mo na obligasyon, no? Suspended muna, sabi nga. Para hindi kayo malito sa resolutory condition. So this is suspensive condition. So from the word itself, suspensive, suspended muna. Wala ka pa muna obligasyon. Unless ma-fulfill na yung obligation or yung condition rather. Okay, so for instance, dog to be delivered only if B gets married. So what is the condition here? If B gets married. So that is the condition. Okay, so if B doesn't get married, now there will be no obligation on the part of the other person. Okay, so if the puppy was born before, no, before condition was fulfilled, no, then the puppy belongs to the seller. Okay, kasi hindi pa kinakasal si B eh. Wala pa yung, hindi pa na-fulfill yung obligation niya, rather yung condition eh. Hindi pa na-fulfill yung condition. So wala pang obligation itong si seller to deliver the puppy, no? So the puppy belongs to the seller. Okay. What else? Case 3, if puppy was born after condition was fulfilled. Okay, so the puppy now belongs to the buyer. Kasi kinasal na eh, no? Yun yung condition. Kinasal na si buyer. Alright. So, fulfilled na yung condition. Now, the puppy now belongs to the buyer. Okay. So, these are rather interesting, no? Uh, topics. Okay. So, very tricky siya. So, determine nyo muna, perfected na ba yung contract? Okay. Belong ba siya? Does that contract belong to a suspensive condition? Okay, so identify it first, no? To be able to analyze or understand to whom, no? The fruits, no? Kanino ba magiging entitled, no? Yung fruits of the object, okay, to be delivered. So we have here the rules, no? If fruits generated after obligation to deliver arises, okay, so the creditor gets them, okay. Now, if generated, no, before obligation to deliver arises, the debtor keeps them. Okay. Kasi yung sa una, no, kung debtor and then creditor, okay, nagkaroon ng fruits, no, after the obligation to deliver arises, meron ng obligation kasi sa debtor to give. So, yung mga fruits nun belongs to the creditor. Okay. However, if the fruits generated before yung obligation to deliver arises, it still belongs to the debtor. Okay, so wag kayong malilito ha. So, i-determine nyo, ano ba yung kumbaga cut-off period? Meron na bang obligation? Nag-arise na may obligation na yon? Or baka hindi pa. Baka under pa siya ng suspensive condition. So, kay debtor pa yon. Okay, so determine no, kailan nag-arise yung obligation. Okay, para ma-determine nyo, sino ba entitled? Si debtor ba or si creditor na? Okay. Next is personal right versus real right. Personal right or use in personam or use ad rem. So right of a person to demand from another the fulfillment of an obligation. Okay. This requires a definite active subject or the creditor and a definite passive subject or the debtor. So this exists no before delivery of the thing. Okay. So ito yung personal right as against the debtor, no? Personal right of the creditor as against the debtor. So example, buyer can demand from seller the delivery of land sold. Okay. So personal right na yan. Now, a real right or jus in re, this a right or this is a right or interest of a person over a specific thing. So this is enforceable against the whole world or the third person, okay, as discussed earlier. So this requires only a definite active subject and no passive subject. This is acquired upon delivery, no? Yung tradition natin, which is the delivery. Okay, ownership acquires, no? Ownership transfers, no? Upon delivery of the thing. So, for instance, once a land is delivered to a buyer, no? Buyer becomes the owner and can assert ownership against anyone, no? Kahit sa third party. So, that is real right. So, distinction, personal right, binding only on a particular person, the debtor, while real right binding against everybody. Ownership is acquired by delivery or tradition, so contracts are merely a title or source of obligation. They do not by themselves transfer ownership. Okay, so source of obligation lang yan, di ba? As we've discussed in my last lecture, one of the sources of obligations, no, is no contracts, no, from from a contract. Okay. So ownership passes only no through actual delivery, actual or constructive or legal delivery. So we have three kinds no of delivery. Actual, okay, talagang ibinigay mo physically, you've delivered that object, no? Constructive. Okay, constructive meaning by your acts, no? By your acts you are now transferring your ownership to the buyer or to the creditor. Okay, like giving the key, the house key, constructive na yon. Hindi ka na tumitira doon, you are no longer living in that property. no? So that is constructive delivery or legal, no? Kung ang stipulation by court judgment, sinabi ng court na sa'yo na ito, okay? So legal delivery. Number 3, sale transfers obligation but not ownership. Why? Again, ownership is perfected only upon delivery. Okay, actual, constructive, or legal delivery. That is under Articles 1496 or 21501. For instance, A buys land from B until B delivers physically or legally through public document. Okay, so public document meaning ni-notarize na yan, no? Legal document din yon. Notarize na yung contract of sale. Okay, so legally, no? Transfer of ownership na rin yan. A is only a creditor with a personal right. Okay, until B delivers, no? Personal right lang siya. Now, after delivery, A acquires ownership or a real right enforceable against all. Okay, so ibig sabihin, no, kung kayo, you imagine yourself in a scenario, you are the buyer, okay, you want to buy a land or any property. Now, once the contract has been perfected, okay, you have a personal right, no? Meron kayong dalawa yung rights nyo eh. Personal right muna as against the debtor, no? You can demand, no? Delivery of that object. Now, after the delivery of that subject of sale, you will have now your real right, which you can enforce against any other person, against everybody, no? Not only as against the debtor. Lahat, pwede na. Kung merong gustong kumuha ng ibang property, third person, and na-deliver na sa'yo. So, you have a right. No cause of action against other persons. So, that is what you call the real right. Okay, so I hope clear na ang distinction between personal and real right. Here, one case law, Fidelity and Deposit Company, no, versus Wilson, 1907. W, a government employee, defaulted on funds. His surety, no, paid the government. Later, W signed a document transferring $785 to T, his lawyer, as payment. Now, funds, however, remain in the government treasurer's possession and were not actually delivered to T. Okay? So, meron ng sinay na document transferring that amount of money as payment. Pero nasa government treasurers pa eh. So, the issue here is, did they acquire ownership over that sum of money? Yung $785, yung payment. The ruling is no ownership for T. No ownership for T. Why? Because there was no actual delivery yet. No, wala pang delivery eh. Contract alone does not transfer ownership. No, delivery is indispensable. So here, T acquired only a personal right or jus ad rem, not a real right or jus in re. T could demand delivery from W, but until actual delivery occurred, he had no enforceable right against third party. So titingnan nyo muna kung kayo ay nag-analyze ng question. Tingnan nyo muna, kanino niya ba ni-enforce yung right niya? Is it against the debtor? Is it against a third party? Or other than the debtor? If it is against a debtor, pwede kasi may personal right ka na eh. However, no, if it is against other party, like yung government dito, nasa treasury pa, third party na yan, di naman kasama sa contract mo eh. Real right yon. So wala ka munang real right dahil hindi pa na-deliver sa'yo. Okay, so that's how you study, no? That's how you rationalize over things, no? Para mas maintindihan nyo siya, no? Yung pinagkaiba. Saan ba ito papasok? Okay, so that's how you study law, no? So the legal principle here is that delivery or tradition is the mode of acquiring ownership. Contract is merely the title. So we have here key takeaways. Creditor is entitled to fruits once obligation to deliver arises, but only personal right until delivery, and then real right or ownership only after delivery. So we have again three kinds of fruits: the natural, these are spontaneous products, industrial by labor cultivation, and then civil by juridical relation like rent or interest. What else? When obligation arises, kailan ba nag-arise ang obligation? As a general rule, upon perfection of the contract. However, if it is under a suspensive condition, there's a condition or period. So upon fulfillment or arrival of that condition or period. Okay? While for sale, no, ito yung special contracts natin, yung sa sale, upon perfection, if price paid, pa nagbayad na, yun yung perfection ng contract. Okay. Number 4, ownership transfers only by delivery, not by mere perfection of contract. Number 5, yung case law natin kanina, no delivery, no real right, only personal right. Okay. Next is obligations to deliver a thing. So that is under Article 1165. Okay. So we will discuss more in detail, no, Article 1165, since we've already have a lengthy, no, discussion from 1163 to 1164. So we will discuss this more in detail in my next lecture, in my next video upload. Okay? Okay. So we will discuss this more later on. Okay. All right. So stay tuned for the next lecture. This is your bar exam coach. You can again follow or subscribe in my YouTube account, your bar exam coach, no, by Attorney Jen Estabilio. My Telegram, you may reach me through my Telegram at your bar exam coach 22, and in X or Twitter at bar exam coach 22, and also you may follow me on Facebook, your bar exam coach. So again, we will discuss uh, next next lecture about about articles 1165 onwards. Okay? So medyo mahaba-haba ng discussion natin eh. So i-cut muna natin dito. Alright? So stay tuned no, for the next lecture. And again, if you have other topics that you would want me to discuss, no, if you have other topics in mind, okay, just feel free to comment below your suggestions or any other topics or whatever, okay? So, I will also be discussing bar questions later on. Okay, so mahaba-haba pa. Marami-marami pa akong kailangang i-discuss. Okay, so be patient, no? Hindi ako agad nakakapag-upload because of busy schedules, but I will find time to conduct these mini lectures, no? Para to help you understand law, no? It can help you in your studies. Okay.